Weather patterns this year have been a little out of the ordinary, but have you ever heard of a triple dip La Nina? Well, me either, but we're in luck because Norwood's own Joe Delacarpini of the National Weather Service fills us in on the triple dip.
Hi, everyone, from the National Weather Service in Boston, Norton, and today we're going to talk about what is La Nina. It's been in the news quite a bit lately, so we're going to talk about La Nina and show you what effects, really, if any, it has on our weather here in New England. So I'm Joe Delacarpini. I'm the Science and Operations Officer for the National Weather Service's Boston office. Again, we're located in Norton, Massachusetts, and I'm also a Norwood resident, so I'm happy to be with you today. So before we start talking about what is La Nina, just a little quick, show you a little diagram here. These are global circulations. We're not going to get into a lot of detail, but La Nina really affects circulations on the global scale. It doesn't really get down to even the scale of, say, the United States or North America. It's really on a global scale. So a lot of what you see here are some of the jet stream circulations that really drive our weather throughout the seasons, throughout the winter, the spring, and the summer. So really has to do a lot with what we call the westerlies here, which are located kind of at our latitude here in the United States. So La Nina can have some impact on that, and we'll get into a little bit of that next. So first of all, I want to talk about something what are called teleconnections. And really what that means is it tells us how the jet stream might behave under different conditions. So looking at this example of the jet stream, you see what's kind of a dip here in the jet stream off the west coast of the U.S. That's called a trough. And then you have a little bit of a bump here over the Rockies, which is known as a ridge. And think of it as kind of like a rope. If you kind of put a jiggle into the rope a little bit, you'll see areas where there are bumps or ridges or kind of dips or troughs. So El Nino and La Nina are global patterns that can kind of help us tell where these ridges and troughs are going to be, and that really gives us a general idea of whether it's going to be warmer than normal, colder than normal, sometimes a little bit stormier than normal. So they have, to some degree, they drive our weather, but it's really, again, on a much larger scale. So we use La Nina and El Nino along with these teleconnections to kind of predict weather on the order of the next couple of weeks or so. So let's talk about what exactly is El Nino and La Nina. It refers to the sea surface temperatures that are off the coast of South America. So you can see here, La Nina is kind of when temperatures are colder than normal off the coast, and El Nino is the opposite, when temperatures are warmer than normal. And just a little fun fact, the name El Nino actually originated from Peruvian fishermen in the 19th century. They noticed when the waters off of South America were much warmer, the fishing was much better. So they called it El Nino, related to actually the Christ child and giving them beneficial fishing seasons. So La Nina is the opposite. It's, again, when temperatures are cooler than average, and that's the pattern we've been in for the past year or so. So its global influence can kind of be seen here, and it's kind of on general weather patterns. Again, United States, North America is up here on the top right of the diagram. And, in the cooler months, we kind of see, wetter than average weather here along the Gulf Coast. Typically, this is for El Nino, not La Nina. So we see a wetter than average pattern along the Gulf Coast, maybe some dry areas in the Midwest, but overall not much of a correlation to our weather here in North America. You can see there's definitely a correlation in parts of the Pacific, and as you get over into parts of Africa and Asia, other parts of the world. But really here, the only correlation we've seen with El Nino is in the winter, and it's a wetter than average pattern along the Gulf Coast.